I'm Amy Leisnering. I'm the Associate Dean of Inclusive Student Success for the College of Graduate Studies. And I am the SJSU campus coordinator for the California Pre-Doc program, also called the Sally Casanova program. So today is an informational session. I have a slideshow where I can give you basic information about the program and answer any questions that you have. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And this can be pretty informal, so you can just stop me if you have a question. You can unmute yourself. Let's see, can you see, does it say California Pre-Doctoral program? Okay, great. Let me make sure. Okay. So this is my second year of being the Associate Dean for Inclusive Student Success. And last year, I was the co-coordinator of this program, but I was really the second in command. So this is my first year doing this by myself. So I think I'll be able to answer all of your questions, but if there's something I can't ask, I'll write it down and I'll get back to you with more information. Okay. So what is the California Pre-Doctoral program? So basically this program enables students to explore, prepare, and succeed in their doctoral program of interest. The program provides two types of support, both financial support and mentor support for juniors, seniors, and graduate students who would like to pursue doctoral degrees at accredited US universities. The other potential benefit is that all awardees, everyone who receives this award, will be designated Sally Casanova scholars and will have an opportunity to apply for a summer research experience. So the financial support entails a maximum amount of $3,000 that can be applied for conference travel, professional development, and research materials. And you also need to find a CSU faculty mentor. And actually the faculty mentor, because you're at San Jose State campus, it needs to be an SJSU faculty sponsor. And these scholars are, with the help of your sponsor, mentees are exposed to unique opportunities to help prepare students to succeed in doctoral programs. Okay, so who can apply to the pre-doc? So SJSU matriculated upper division or master's degree students who are enrolled at SJSU as of spring 2022, so next semester, and who will also be enrolled at a CSU campus for at least the fall semester for academic year 2022-2023, so next fall. Applicants are required to have a faculty sponsor who will be available during the academic year to help them implement a plan that will prepare them for admissions to a doctoral program. Oops, why did that go away? Sorry about that. Applicants must be a US citizen, permanent resident, or a DACA recipient. Unfortunately, international students are not eligible for this program. Students interested in obtaining professional degrees like in medicine or law or an MBA are also not eligible. So you need to be applying to a research-based PhD doctorate program. Okay, so what is the pre-doc faculty mentor's role? So mentors support the Sally Casanova scholar, the mentee, by guiding them through the program. Mentors may accompany the mentee to doctoral granting campuses for site visits or professional meetings, which will help to expose them to their field of interest. Mentors assist applicants with information about academic careers. They might identify appropriate journal subscriptions and learning experiences, as well as ensuring that they're prepared for doctoral study. And mentors also assist with the preparation of the application form. So who can serve as a faculty mentor? So a faculty mentor must be a tenured or tenure track faculty member, what we also call at San Jose State as full-time faculty, which is less, it's kind of strange. It's less about how much time you actually work. It just means that you're on the tenure track or you've gotten tenured. So it can be an assistant, associate, or full professor, but not a lecturer. So again, has to be someone on the tenure track, which would be an assistant professor, or someone who's tenured, which would be an associate or full professor, and who knows you well, obviously, and who's also willing to support your application to the pre-doc program and is willing to serve as your mentor during the award year. So how do you go about finding a pre-doc faculty mentor? It could be someone, if you were an undergraduate, if you are an undergraduate student, or if you were an undergraduate student, if you're a master's student here, it could be your undergraduate advisor. If you are currently a master's student, it could be your research mentor or your thesis advisor, if you have one already. Or it could simply be a faculty member who does the kind of research that you want to pursue in your doctoral program. So it could be someone that you already know, but it's also the case where you could find someone that you don't already know. And in that case, it's really important to provide a convincing reason that a faculty member would take the time and effort to do this for you if they don't already know you. So here's just some tips on how to ask a faculty member to serve as your mentor. You can visit them during their office hours or their virtual office hours, or send a faculty member a brief email, and you should use your SJSU email account for professional reasons. You always want to be respectful, use appropriate titles. So for example, doctor or professor, introduce yourself if they don't already know you. You want to obviously tell them what year you are in your program. You want to talk about your career and your graduate school aspirations. So what are your goals? What eventually do you want to do? And you can briefly mention relevant courses, your grades, GPA, or any previous research or lab experience that's relevant. And optional but recommended to provide a CV or resume, and even your unofficial transcripts if they really don't know who you are as a student. And I'm double drinking. Yes, it's very, I have a hot tea because I'm cold, but also bubbly water. So I'm staying very well hydrated today. So what you want to do, again, if you're not sure who you might approach to have a faculty mentor or to ask to be a faculty mentor, you want to review the faculty member's research and determine what and why it interests you. And again, it should align with what you're interested in doing in a doctoral program. Discuss why participating in this research relates to your academic and career goals. Oops, this is going very fast. Whoop, go back. Faculty members are busy, especially at this time of the year as we get towards the holidays and then the end of the semester, and they might not respond right away. So it's recommended that you give them a week or two to respond and then send a follow-up email or attempt to visit them during their office hours. And don't give up. If a match doesn't work, if the first person that you approach doesn't work out, you could ask around to see if you know of any, to see if faculty know of any colleagues who would be willing to serve as your mentor. Okay, so pretty self-explanatory, but just want to go over this. When you're meeting with a faculty member, obviously you want to be on time, you want to be prepared. Remember, if they don't know you already, you're really trying to show them why they should put time and effort into this. Again, bring copies of your resume, your CV, your unofficial transcripts, dress appropriately, listen attentively, be ready to discuss your goals and your interests regarding your research interests, graduate school and career aspirations, and discuss your the expectations. They might not be aware of this program, so you want to go in being able to share with them what's the time commitment, make clear what your availability is, make clear your intentions for the mentoring relationship, and provide information regarding opportunities for the faculty member. So funding for supplies, conference travel, that type of thing. Okay, the application guidelines. How do you actually apply to the pre-doc? So currently the application packet is not yet posted on the Cal State website. It has last year's application still. You can look at it to kind of get a sense of what the application process entails. It won't be too different, but they won't actually make this year's application available until December. And they haven't said what date. It just says that December 2021. Usually it's towards the beginning of the month. Once I have a date, I can email any student who is interested, and we'll also post it on our website as well. So in the meantime, you can be working on your essay prompts while you're seeking a faculty member, and we'll get to that in a minute. You can be completing your student budget plan with your faculty member. And then eventually you'll submit the application to the pre-doc campus coordinator, which is me, Amy Leisnering, and that's my email address. It's also, all the information about this is also on our CGS scholarship webpage. What should your application packet include? It should include the general, personal, and educational information sections completed on the application. It should have your student budget plan for how you're going to spend your $3,000. The 3 essays that are required, your faculty sponsor form, and your faculty letter of recommendation. And your faculty member will upload this document when they receive notification from the chancellor's office after you've applied. So you don't need to be the person soliciting the letter. The chancellor's office does this for you. Of course, you should tell the faculty mentor to expect this to be coming so that they're prepared to write it, but you don't have to be responsible for obtaining it from them. And your transcripts. There's a little picture. Okay. Tips to produce a successful application. So these are looked at very carefully by the review committee. And this scholarship is very prestigious. It's competitive. There are students at all of the CSU campuses competing for it. So you really want to make sure that you have a solid application packet, including solid essays. So you want to complete your essays thoughtfully, answering the prompts thoroughly. Definitely don't go over the word limit. And you have to really make sure that there are no typos. So having someone proofread it is a good idea. And I will actually also be going over all of the applications from our campus before you get the go ahead to upload your application to the chancellor's office website. And so I'll definitely let you know if there's issues with your application. You also want to be very clear in your student budget plan. Provide estimated dates, research the costs of travel and attendance. If you're asking for money to go to professional meetings, there are definitely now conferences that are in person that people are traveling to. Last year, that was not the case. So you can consider that, but know, how to budget for airfare, hotel costs of the conference. Your plan should be realistic, and it must add up to $3,000, almost exactly. So you don't want it to fall short and you don't want it to go over. And if you need tips later on for how to do this, there's some types of PhD programs, that it's definitely clear that you would need research materials, and others it's a little bit harder to figure out what you would be asking for, but I'm happy to serve as a resource for you for that. Okay, your letter of recommendation. What should the letter address? And oh, by the way, I'll make both these slides and this recording available for you to look at later. So the letter should address the fact that the mentor holds the student in high regard. So you should talk about, what an excellent academic student that you are with research potential. The letter should discuss the following about the student: the skills and ability, mastery of theory and method, accomplishments that you have had. This is why, if you aren't familiar with the faculty mentor that you're approaching, having a CV or a resume with that type of information would be really helpful. Motivations, and a description or discussion of the student's potential to succeed as a doctoral student. So you want to get your application package to me no later than 11:59 p.m. on February 4th. Oops, there's a typo. That would be a very long time away. 2012. So just needs to be 2022 next year. I'll fix that before I post it. And the finalized documents must be uploaded to the chancellor's website by 5 p.m. on February 18th. So this will give me time to look at your application package, just make sure everything looks good, let you know if I think there's ways that you can strengthen or improve it. And then again, make sure that your mentor knows that they'll be receiving an email from the chancellor's office requesting to upload their letter of recommendation for you. Okay, what happens next? So the College of Graduate Studies, mainly me, will work with you to polish your application package before online submission to the chancellor's office. You cannot submit your application to the chancellor's office without receiving a code from the College of Graduate Studies. So it's really important that you're working with me during this process. The sooner that you're able to submit your final application packet to me, the more time that the College of Graduate Studies will have to work with you. So, obviously, if I go back to this slide, February 4th is the deadline. If you can get it to me a little bit earlier, that's great. It's kind of a fast turnaround time. So if you have a lot of work that you have to do, so basically I need time to look at it, read it, get it back to you, and let you do any edits that I recommend. So the sooner that I get it, the better. Okay, so applicants will be selected based on 3 major criteria. This is at the chancellor's level when they're making their decisions: the potential for success in completing a doctoral program, effectiveness of the student and faculty plan, economic need, educational hardships. And the chancellor's office does have a rubric that they make available to students so you can see what are the things that they're actually evaluating your application on. And as soon as that comes out in December, we'll make that available. And it's also will be available, I believe, on the chancellor's office website. So the summer research experience. So this is available to Sally Casanova scholars who are not admitted into a PhD program for fall 2022 academic year. So it allows scholars to pursue doctoral level research under the guidance of a faculty member at an institution of their choice. So scholars may participate at any accredited doctoral institution within the US. Established partnerships with the UC offer added benefit of enhanced professional development and dorm residency. So working with a UC has potential additional benefits. It doesn't have to be a UC, but there's additional benefits. The cost that you would actually absorb if you did do the summer research experience would be travel to and from the institution, your room and board, but you would be receiving a stipend ranging between $4,000 and $5,000 for 8 to 10 weeks of research. And you are not permitted to work elsewhere during this time period. Scholars are primarily responsible for identifying and contacting potential faculty sponsors. So you could work with your pre-doc advisor and faculty member to get ideas about who could be a potential sponsor and or an institution where you could do summer research. And during the scholarship year, you can take the opportunity to look at other institutions if you choose to make campus visits. So how to apply for this? Applications for, first of all, you have to be admitted as a Sally Casanova Scholar, and then they'll become available online in November of next year, 2022. The deadline for application submission is due sometime in late February 2023, and it must go through the CSU pre-doctoral program at the Office of the Chancellor. And your CSU faculty mentor must approve your application as indicated by their signature on the final application. And 3 essays are also required for this when you are applying. Okay, so general inquiries about the scholarship, this particular scholarship, the pre-doc program, if it's something fairly basic, if you have questions after this, and I'll also talk to you about a drop-in session that we're going to have about other to answer other questions you might have. But if you just have general inquiries, you can email our scholarship email address at graduate-scholarships@sjsu.edu. And just please make sure that you indicate the word pre-doctoral program in the subject of your email, because we're using this for a variety of different scholarships. You can also reach out to me. Again, I'm the campus liaison for the program. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen and answer questions. And I have a couple of other things to suggest. Let's see, stop share. Okay, also to answer Taylor, your question, you can also use the money to attend graduate programs, to visit while you're in the process of deciding which program you want to apply to. So that's one way that you can also use that $3,000. You can also use it to join professional organizations or to get journal subscriptions if there's any software that you need. Yeah, so hopefully that gives a little bit more information about what you could request for in your $3,000 proposed budget. Well, I look forward to working with all of you during this process if you decide to move forward. And like I said, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And I hope you all have a good rest of your day.